Government will not spend beyond the budget for the elections, according to the Permanent Secretary and Minister of Finance. Speaking to NTV in Washington, D.C., he accused the banks of being speculative when they increase borrowing rates based on anticipated government borrowing.
I think the perception, the market players, banks and all these people speculated that because probably there is election coming, there's going to be overborrowing. And our job was to make their life difficult, and therefore that what they were speculating is not going to happen. Government expenditure will be as programmed.
He dismissed the possibility of issuing infrastructure bonds now because there is cheaper concessional money from elsewhere. The International Monetary Fund is in the same stride in support of countries seeking for a mixed type of funding, especially to support infrastructure projects.
The new debt limits policy approved by our board in December will be going into effect at the end of June, and is different in the way of not for countries that are not at high risk of debt distress, not making a distinction between non-concessional versus concessional debt, but certainly asking countries to look at the total debt package and see how that is consistent with their debt sustainability, but giving them the freedom to choose between concessional and non-concessional borrowing.
But the central bank warns that whichever borrowing will be done will engender caution, despite the need to foster growth.
When you are in an uncertain world, it means that whatever policy actions you take must be measured. Must be measured because you have these amplified risks. So whatever, every moment becomes, economic management becomes difficult simply because of those uncertainties, and so you have to go cautiously.
The biggest issues for Uganda is the exchange rate depreciation, the lower exports, and the likely lower growth, which may not support the desired levels of borrowing to develop infrastructure. Recent central bank policy is all pointing to some degree of slowdown to attempt to match uncertainty, especially for Uganda, coming into an election year. Samuel Setumba, NTV Business.